The I wouldn't call it my worst investment, but I'd say my most disastrous investment. I don't know. Anyway, I've had a bunch of, my partner Rob Goldstein, who joined me in 1989, always joke that, if we worked for someone else over the last 15 years, they would have fired us about 8 times. So you have to be willing to, I guess, make mistakes, and you can't really avoid it. And so our worst one was probably, we actually bought, through a spin-off, a company that actually owned Comdex, which used to be a computer trade show, and it was the biggest one. And we were actually able to create it before the spin-off for about $3 a share, and it was going to sell some new shares at $6, and that had been announced, but yet we could create it by buying the parent and shorting another piece and creating what was left for about $3. So all good so far. But we actually fell in love with the business. What I loved about the business was that they ran this trade show in Las Vegas, and you could rent all the trade space you wanted in Las Vegas at the time. And it was available at about $2 a square foot, and they could re-rent it at $62 a square foot. So whenever the trade show grew, they would spend another $2 and get a $62 contribution. And so we fell in love with the operating dynamics of this business, and the stock actually went from $3. They sold some more stock at $6, and the stock actually went to $12. And we had a really large position at $3. The reason for that is that we thought we could get out right away at $6. We did not get out right away at $6 because we fell in love with the business. It went to $12, so it sounds good so far. But then unfortunately, shortly after about September 9th, 2001, the company bought another trade show and borrowed a lot of money. And then after September 11th, no one wanted to travel at all. And both trade shows really went downhill. And everyone knows about financial leverage, meaning, hey, you borrow a lot of money, you pay your money, you take your chances, you put up $1, you borrow 9, that's a risky investment. So this is how I learned about operating leverage, which is when you lay out another $2 and collect 62, when the sales go down, right? When you lose $62 in revenue, 60 of your profits just evaporated, and it drops immediately to the bottom line. That's called operating leverage. So that was my lesson in operating leverage. The stock, I think I got out at a little over 1 or so. So, things happen. It's a lesson in concentration. It's a lesson in operating leverage. I learned a lot of things, and I can still safely say I'm always learning. I'm always making a new mistake. I'm trying not to make the same ones, but the same ones usually have a little different face on them. You're really making the same one, but it presented in a little different way, and you didn't notice it, and you would go make that mistake again. And so I guess advice would be don't be shy about making mistakes, because you will anyway. So
well, I think that's very important what Joel just said, and I want everybody in the audience to take cognizance of it. I wrote a memo in April called Dare to be Great. And basically it said, if you want to be exceptional as an investor, you have to dare to be great. Everybody here is willing to be great. But to be great, you have to be different. Because if you think the same as everybody else, you'll make the same actions. If you take the same actions, you'll have the same performance. You certainly can't be exceptional if you follow the common course. So to be exceptional, you have to be different. You also have to dare to be wrong. And nobody bats 1,000. The best baseball hitter in history got 4 hits every 10 times to the plate, right? Some investors can do a little better than that. But nobody bats 1,000. And Joel mentioned that he could have been fired 8 times. And I'm
a very kind boss, so I let myself stay.
And I had lunch today with the guy who works for Berkshire Hathaway, and we were talking about what makes Warren successful. And I said one of the things that makes him successful is he's not afraid of getting fired. But very few people have that luxury. And the question is, for those of us who work in the world where we can be fired, if not by our employers, then by our clients, will we still take the chance and back our ideas that there are no sure things? Will you back the things that have a chance of being wrong? And I think you have to take that chance.